Thanks for checking out my Havoc Demon Hunter guide. In this guide we're going to have an overview of the different strengths, the basic stat or gear setup, recommended Havoc talents. In terms of basic stats and how you should be setting out your gear, agility really tops out any other secondary stat for Havoc. What you will notice though, it's basically safe as a pretty simple guide. Go with the most agility, which is really just go with the most eye level you're going to get every time you get an upgrade. The real aim is to get items with haste on them. For different pieces of similar item level, this is how you want to prioritize your stats. Get enough haste so that you're feeling comfortable, but the more the better off you'll be. Additionally, rocks and versatility, critical strike, double up on haste again, and then finally mastery. Mastery doesn't give us that much. There's a little bit of a speed bonus there, and the other component is actually just our passive. So increases your chaos damage by 27%. So as you tack up your mastery, you'll slowly see that incrementally go up, but it's not a lot to change how we're designing our gameplay. If you're looking for a quick Havoc Demon Hunter build, this is one of the quickest and easiest to play. If you're looking for something a little more specific to Mythic Dungeons, check out a couple of my other videos, kind of expand on all the different builds that Havoc brings to the table, because there's at least 3 and maybe 6, depending if you really want to specialize it to single target or you're an AoE. In terms of the basic build, go with Blind Fury. That gives you Fury generation from your I-beams every 30 seconds, makes I-beam really the key component of your rotation. Additionally, after that, Immolation Aura, Trial of Rune, incorporate as much Blade Dance as possible. Soul Rending, that just gives you that leech for a tune without a ton of defensives. This is super helpful. First Blood, that reduces the Fury cost of Blade Dance by 20 and increases its damage by, we see 11,000 here, but that obviously scales. Your second last tier, level 108, I go with Unleash Power if you're trying to just learn the spec. Removes the Fury cost of your AoE stun, that's Fury Nova. That's it right there. Will stun everyone around you and really settle them down for 2 seconds. Helps on Mythic Pluses. Helps if you're doing some world PvP. And then finally Demonic. So after you cast I-beam, you enter demon form just like you're in Metamorphosis. We'll see here in a sec. And then that stacks really well with Blind Fury, because now you're in demonic form with a bunch of extra fury, and it actually complements the soul rending as well, so you're up to 20% leech. So going in demonic, you're producing more damage and you're getting more self heals. Great easy build, folks, check it out. For a deep dive into the talent overview, Blind Fury, it's extremely good. Buffs one of our best abilities by 50% while generating a lot of fury. I-beams is key. For tier 2, Immolation Aura brings a ton of fun. It actually gives us additional DPS. Kind of comes over from our build that we were rocking with Vengeance, and I think it's really good. It gives us a much better cleave option. For tier 3 talents, Trial of Rune is a real easy one to go with. Every time you Blade Dance, it applies a dot to your targets. So a gimme in terms of your Mythic, any of your Mythic Plus, or really PvP, or even single target. Like it's delicious. Rock that as much as you can. Tier 4 talents, Soul Rending, I really like it. It's the gem. You double up your leech, get it up to 20%, and you're in great shape. Going into demonic, which is really just using I-beams, will top your health back up unless you're in major trouble. For tier 5 talents, First Blood, it's basically the same as it was in Legion. It's absolutely fantastic, reduces the cost of Blade Dance and increases the damage on your primary target. You've actually just dropped a dot on them from Trial of Rune, so it complements the build really well. Tier 6 talents, Unleash Power. So it's really simple, just the passive, and it's going to remove the fury costs on you as far as the AoE stun goes and reduces the cooldown. So great if you're just learning the spec, or if you're looking to go with more of a Mythic Plus focus. If you're going PvP, Master of the Glaive is the way to go. Finally, Tier 7, so this is really what gives your kit a lot of flexibility. I personally really like Demonic. It's a really strong talent, and if you need that burst every 30 seconds, who doesn't need burst every 30 seconds? There it is right there. And it stacks really well with Blind Fury. It's my Fury topped up, and yeah, I think it's absolutely, I think, the difference maker for me in terms of how I get passionate about my Havoc Demon Hunter here. For baseline spells, Metamorphosis actually does it during any kind of big burn phase or damage phase that you're seeing. You want to have as much Fury as you can prior to hitting it. It's a really powerful single target in AoE cooldown, so plan for how you're going to use it, because it's on a 4-minute cooldown. It has a very long duration. You can see it's absolutely, it's the best. It's one of the best superpowers you're going to get. Ties really well with the demonic build. See it right there. Demon's Bite, again, that deals damage to a single target, the one right in front of you, and starts to generate Fury. Blade Dance will deal damage to all your nearby targets. Chaos Strike consumes your Fury and deals damage to single targets. Eye-Beam consumes Fury, deals damage to everyone in your line of fire. And Fell Rush rushes forward, and that deals damage to any enemies in your path, which is really still it's that mobility difference maker. It's absolutely the best. In terms of defensive abilities, we've got Blur. Drop it right there. And while Blur's up, dodge is increased by 50%. Just goes by so quick. You really need to know when's the right time to drop it. Increases that dodge by 50% and all damage taken by 35. So definitely not an immunity. Darkness, that's the other defensive that we have. That's for you or any players around you to avoid all damage from an attack for 8 seconds. It's a great way to coordinate it if you're in a raid. It's just kind of like a smoke bomb, but not exactly as useful. So probably just want to drop it if you're in a tank or there's a big fire on the ground situation, but we will check that out. In terms of utility, Havoc brings a few really fun abilities. We've got Imprison, can't drop that right now. Disrupt, that's any kind of ranged interrupt, which also gives you 30 Fury. Chaos Nova stuns nearby targets for 2 seconds, that's an AoE stun. Vengeful Retreat, that's leaping backwards like so. And then finally Consume Magic. And when you consume magic, that takes the magical ability from your target and generates 20 Fury. So if you're smart with your utilities, you can be pulling 50 Fury off that no problem. Alright folks, that's a quick overview of the Havoc Demon Hunter. There's a ton of really enjoyable builds out there. Either drop it down in the comments if you'd like to see more of them. Like I said, check out some of my other talent pages in terms of builds. Or if you really want the quick sheet, the build you've seen right here is the single target. If you really want to aim quickly, demonic AoE, don't go try Laroon, although it's attractive with the dot. You can go Fell Barrage. And Fell Barrage actually just allows you to have this, it's, they call it a Fell energy, but your character basically stops being able to attack and starts providing a bit of a burst to all of the enemies within 8 yards. It's a lot of fun, and the animation for it is absolutely fantastic. So when it comes to our AoE Havoc bid, check that out, and drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you like, didn't like, and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out and keep me fired up to keep putting these videos out there. Alright folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Later.